Well, it's one for the money, two for the show, three to get ready now. Go get go. Step on the blue suede shoe. What you do when I think out of my blue suede shoe? When you knock me down, step on my face, send my name all over the place. Doing a thing.
Well, Brian, welcome back to the town hall.
Here we are again.
Yeah. 2 years on, exactly 2 years on, in fact. So another sellout concert at the beginning of the month on September the 1st.
Yeah.
Great night once again. As we said, it was completely sold out. How did you feel it went?
Absolutely brilliant. I mean, we had a wonderful time, and the crowd seemed to enjoy it. So that's the main thing, you know, that your audience enjoy what you're doing. But no, we had a fantastic time, and for us as well. 6 months getting together and rehearsing before the show, that's half the fun for us as well, because you're meeting up with old friends, and that's part of the process.
See that you love drives a man insane. You broke my will, what a thrill. Goodness gracious, great God.
So how long did you actually rehearse for then, or how many times?
Well, we started sort of every other week, around about April. And then about a month before the show, we started every week. And so it gives you a chance to get together and practice and decide what doesn't sound right and, you know, go on from there. But it's a lot of fun anyway.
Yeah. Well, since we sat here 2 years ago, you've made two changes to the group. The last time you were here, you were saying that Eddie Dartron Fellows, that was going to be his very last concert that he did with the group, which is always going to be the case, and he stuck to his word on that one. But you made two new changes to the group, with Simon obviously leaving.
Yeah.
Tell us about the two new faces.
Well, first of all, the people who left. Simon left. He's working full time, obviously, and also he's playing in fantastic band, Fair Play, function band, and most of their weekends are taken care of. And basically, he's got enough to do without finding extra time. He's rehearsing with them, playing with them, and he hadn't really got time, though he'd enjoy doing it. Can't ask him to do two things, you know. No. But the other chap, John Barlow, who did most of the singing last year, was up for doing it again. Unfortunately, he had a medical problem come along, which has affected his voice. So he can still play guitar, but he's not doing any singing anymore. So he had to chuck it in as well. And he was coming up from you know, down in Devon, which is a long way. Anyway, new guys, we got Matt Flynn, who's much younger fella. He's only around his 40s, probably a bit younger than that. But he used to give us a hand when we had the shop at Westside Music Centre shop at Weston, and has been in bands before, plays keyboard, and he did very, very well. He didn't have long with us. He fitted in quite last minute. And of course, the big new happening is our new vocalist, Steve E, who's a real character. I mean, Steve's been knocking around the business for years. He remember Racy?
Yeah,
chart-topping band who's partly from the West Country. Well, he toured, that's the one. He toured all over the world with them. He was their road manager, and he's also been a professional drummer. And more recently, the last few years, he's been working as a solo act around a lot of the watering holes in Somerset, quite well known in the local pubs as a solo singer. But this is the first time for a while that he's sung with a band. But he's been a great influence. He's brought us on to different things and fitted in extremely well. And most importantly, we all get on very well with him.
That's right.
So two great new guys, and I think it all paid off on the night.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. Certainly with Steve, he used to be singing at some stage with Tim Pittman not so long ago.
That's right.
Yeah. Doing a lot of work with Tim.
That's right.
They've done it for some time.
Well, I think it's a bit of a shock singing with a band instead of backing tracks, which he's been doing for a while. Yeah. But as I say, he's fitted in very well. I'm still going to be doing a bit. I might be doing a bit of dual work with Steve as well in the meantime. But he's definitely on board next year, as is Matt. So that when we come back next year, they'll be with us definitely.
And we're all booked in again for August 17th next year. So
have you got one on the poll book yet?
I'm on a poll. I didn't warn them, but I've got to give them the date. So at least we got them coming back as well. They're looking forward to it.
That's brilliant.
But obviously, in the last 2 years, I don't suppose too many people have seen Ron, Eddie Dart, in the last 2 years. Do you still keep in contact with him?
Occasionally. Ron's quite a private person. Being on stage and sort of showing himself off, which was great when he was young. he's not that comfortable doing that, you know, but he still loves music. We usually get together when one of us has bought a new guitar, and we do have a word from now and then. He does a little bit, he does quite a lot of playing and writing and one thing or another at home, and he gets out to some of the open night folk clubs once in a while and plays. Extremely good player and singer, but he's following his own field and he's happy that we're doing what we're doing. But that's the situation.
And that might seem a silly question to ask, but I would imagine that there's no second thoughts and he might not even come along and do a couple of songs.
He'd be very, very welcome. We'd love him to come back and do a couple of numbers. But I don't think it's very likely. No.
He's one of these, I think, always...
Once he's made his mind up.
Yeah. He always was like that. And, I mean, he's gone out on a great note. He's finished in the place.
Which is what he wanted to do. He didn't know what was going to happen after, and like he said, he actually said, well, let's go out on a high. Yeah. And when I said we were going to keep going, he said, well, the best of luck, you shouldn't have any problems.
That's right.
That's really nice.
I thought it was also good to see Mike Argent back this time. I thought, as soon as he walked in, how well he actually looked.
Mike's fantastic. I mean, because he had a couple of nasty operations a few years ago, and we were all very worried. He's doing extremely well. As you can see, pretty lively on stage. He's very proud of his new guitar. Gretsch White Falcon is an iconic instrument. Gretches were played back in the 50s and 60s by people like Eddie Cochran and George Harrison, and everybody, the Beatles, everybody used the Gretsch. It's a very distinctive sound. He even manages to make it sound right when he's playing shadow stuff on it.
Absolutely brilliant.
Which is unusual. It's usually more of a rock and roll guitar, but he makes it work, and he's a great player. He's still doing very well. And enjoying every minute.
He is, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that guitar, when I actually mentioned on the night that I thought with the guitar that probably cost as much as one of Roy Marsh's holidays abroad. Sure, Roy and Sue are now tax exiles, I'm sure nowadays.
They certainly don't give them away.
They don't, do they? No. But it was good to see Mike back. And to be honest, playing that guitar tango, you see a lot of shadows music played by different artists doing Apache, but that guitar tango, I think, is a little bit.
And of course, the other one that always really affects the musicians is the Cruel Sea, the Dakotas and Ventures number. Monopole, love that one. I always remember the first time we did it 3 or 4 shows ago. We were doing Monopole, and on the recording after, there's a comment coming out that you see Rod Gordon, the singer from Monopole. I said, I never bloody heard that played live. Cruel Sea's a real fast number. The rhythm's a bit fast on that.
That's right.
But that was great. It's lovely to have him back.
But it's also good to see Nick Ponsell and John Lacey doing any different.
Unbelievable. Nick Ponsell is solid blinky rock. Great player. He likes singing. Not so keen on singing as he is on playing. He's a good singer as well. But his bass playing is really, really solid. John is out of this flipping world. He is. I mean, he doesn't practice on his drums from one rehearsal to the next.
Does he not?
No, he doesn't play at home at all. And he turns up our practice and he's always absolutely spot on. If you've got a suggestion to make about a number, it's done immediately. And as you heard on the night, when he finished off after a whole lot of shaking, I think we've got to put Shadoogie back in, the Shadows number next year, because of the real drum solo in the middle of that one. And I think he deserves one.
Absolutely.
He needs to be seen a bit more. He was stuck a bit out of the way this time.
Wasn't he? Yeah.
But we want him centre stage next time.
I think so.
Great guys. They're all great guys. When do you think? It's 50 years now.
I know. So I know this is an awkward question to ask at this stage, right? But the age of the group now, I know no one's over 80, but...
Well, I'm 72 next April, and still very happy to be bopping about and playing.
And lost 2 stone as well.
Well, that's a little bit of weight loss, and Nick, John, and Mike are all over 65. Steve's a bit younger, obviously. He's quite a bit younger than that. But like I said on the night, Sandy, I've been somebody a bit younger because they're fit enough to carry the kit in and out.
That's true. That's what you need now, isn't it? Yeah. But I thought the actual night went particularly well. But for everybody to come back and see the solos on that night, and the tickets, yet again, even this year went probably quicker than what they did last year.
I mean, you were ringing me saying, did you want any of my allocations?
That's right.
Was there any spare?
That's right.
It seemed like a few days after we had them.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah. But it was also good to see Monopole back again as well, who I know you're great friends with. But this year, it's the 3rd time I've seen them now, because obviously with 3 years we've been playing here, or you've been playing here. And I thought this year they were probably better than I've ever seen them. We had to
good.
drag them off stage at the end of the night.
They love it, and they do play a lot more regularly than we do. I mean, they're playing every week. But we have known them for a long time. The original arrangement was that they help us out because we haven't got a PA system. We don't play off enough. They let us use a PA system, sometimes the drums. And their sound man mixed to us when we're on stage. So they're a fantastic help, and we do keep in touch in between. But yeah, great band. The other thing is they're very kind to us. We always give them a list of our numbers before the show, and they always avoid most numbers we're doing in the first half, which also makes a difference. But yeah, great band to play with. Yeah,
it's obviously in key because they do 2 or 3 searchers numbers, so that always goes down well. But they're an excellent group, no doubt about that. Yeah. But obviously on the night with all the equipment we had on stage, which was a lot with 2 sets of drums. But what was your opinion for the first time you've seen the Moondogs?
Fantastic. I mean, we got on so well. The funny thing with the Moondogs, the drummer came in, and I suddenly realised I'd known him since he was 13. He used to be a customer in my shop at Yeovil, and it was really lovely to see him again. But no, they're a brilliant band, and they managed to produce serious Beatles music without having to dress up or put on wigs or anything like that. It's all about the music, not theatre, And I thought they were brilliant, and they enjoyed us, I think, and we certainly enjoyed their play as well.
And they're so
I thought their extra singer that they brought on at the end of the show was a bit of a surprise.
I took the average age of
they sign you up as a permanent singer for it?
I think, hey Jude, that's sort of been an ongoing thing.
Well, he did it better than Paul McCartney did last time I heard it. Anyway.
He's older. He is older. He's older on that one. My voice is gone many years ago, but his is certainly gone now. But they're a terrific band. They're easy to get on with. And it just made the night, having 3 bands as good as that, making everybody enjoy it. So
we had friends who came along and they enjoyed that. I mean, they came to see us, but they enjoyed the whole thing. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah.
So what was it like coming back yet again to see all the old faces that were here?
Well, fantastic. I mean, the point is you can recognise them still. I mean, the people there were blokes there I used to chuck out at the town hall when they had too much to drink. I mean, what I will say, the blokes all look a bit older, but some of the ladies are looking amazing. I mean, someone might be looking at them and say, well, she definitely come to the dance. She only looks about 40 now. That means she would have been about 5,
That's right.
But no, it's lovely to see them all, and it's a great honour to us for them to come back and want to see us again.
And it's lovely to see all the people, certainly the people I know that have come back for so many years, still supporting all the nights that go on here as well. So,
absolutely.
But 2 people I would like to sort of talk about also is Steve Winkley and Helen Chapman.
Well, there you are.
Steve for the work, absolutely. Steve for all the work that he's done and in the build-up and what he's done on YouTube, on Facebook. I think it's been outstanding. He's always good to have around. He gets very little praise for what he does, except from us, of course. Yeah. But also, the missing link, I thought, this year was Helen Chapman. Unfortunately, she's been through a time lately where she's not been particularly well.
That's right. For people who don't know, Helen sort of acts as your unofficial PR, doesn't she? She handles publicity for the shows on Facebook.
She does very, very
keeps in touch. I mean, she's really supportive of our band. At one point, she was using our picture of the band as her Facebook picture,
That's right.
And so, we wish her well.
Yeah, we do, very much so,
and we must send her down a DVD of the show because she misses it. Steve Winkley, what a star. I mean, he's become one of our best friends. He makes us look good, makes us sound good, and he's always there to help out, and make a good show of it.
Yeah, that's right.
So, wonderful bloke.
He is, isn't he, really? Yeah. And like you say, just going on from what you were saying about Helen as well, that we wish her well in her recovery.
Absolutely.
And we really hope to see her next year. Absolutely. Yeah, it will be fantastic. Yeah, really look forward to that one. Yeah. But just going back to the town hall, because it's something you've obviously done for many, many years, and it'll always be your swan song, I would imagine here, although we'll try and get 1 or 2 extra nights next year. Have you ever thought about doing the theatres, or are you happiest with the groups dancing on the dance floor as they were that night, packed?
We're a dance hall band. We're a bit raw, which is how it's meant to be.
Yeah.
We like to keep it lively, and we don't do choreography, dressing up, and stuff like that. We're not a theatre band.
No.
We're much happier in a dance hall with the dance hall atmosphere, and that's what we always be happy doing. We don't want to try to pretend to be anything we're not.
That's right.
Exactly. And we're a dance hall rock and roll band. So that's what we like doing. Yeah.
So the theatre's always going to be out then, really. Yeah.
Mike, the money's right.
There's that to it, that's true. Talking about money, going on to the next thing, what about, or have you ever thought about writing a book or doing a DVD? I know you're doing a DVD, or Steve's done one certainly recently.
Show, yeah.
But I'm just going back to the years when, can't remember the guy who wrote the book.
Yeah, Barry Soden.
Barry Soden.
Oh no, it's local rock and roll.
That's the one, yeah.
Did a marvelous
It's a
job.
marvelous
Unfortunately,
book.
he died a couple of years ago.
Yeah. But have you ever thought of doing something? I know you're retired now, Bryce, so I'm thinking you might have a bit of spare time of ever writing a book.
I've got loads of stories, as I told you some of them. I mean, some of them are even printable.
That's right.
But loads of stories, you know, from the past and over the years. But it's not really my thing. I can't sit still long enough to sit and write a book, you know. DVD is a nice idea. The problem is that from the early days, we've only got black and white photos. We haven't got any recordings. I mean, there is a black and white photo archive on YouTube, on 2 or 3 of our channels, which plots the band in the early days with photos. And then in 2004, there's some pictures when we came back for the launch of Barry Soden's book.
That's right.
And also that's backed by a whole lot of shaking gigs sung by Eddie Dart and Volvos at the Taunton show when we did the launch. Of course, we could do a sort of from 2004 to 2012. That's 8 years. That's twice as long as the band existed in the first place. Perhaps you'd like to do the commentary on that, Merv, if we got one together. You'd have to
I would do anything I could to help.
all the footage, all the footage is there of the band since 2004. So we could put together a sort of a retrospective.
I just think something like that would go down particularly well because it's something that nobody else has ever done.
No.
Certainly in the era.
As long as people would be interested.
I'm sure they would be, really. Yeah, you've got to look at the number of people.
Well, Nick's extended family for a start.
Oh, there you are. Straight away, there's 200.
That's half of Italy.
That's true, isn't it? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So straight away you could do that one. And also on the night, which surprised me a little bit, and surprised quite a few others as well, you brought quite a few new songs into the act. Whose idea was that?
Well, everybody's.
Was it?
We also, we've done a very similar show. We've expanded, done a bit longer each time.
Yeah.
But we've done a lot of very similar stuff every year. And we also, if we're going to do it again, we've got to try and do something different. And we'll continue to do that. We're going to change half the numbers for next year because people don't want to keep seeing the same stuff. And some
people actually get fed up. I'm
sure
they don't get fed
well,
up.
some numbers go better
go
better than others. And we know sometimes some of the numbers don't go exactly how we want them to. People don't realise because the band are professional enough. If somebody does something a bit different, they just follow on through. But it's the sort of thing that we'll get them shouted at in our ears. But we all made slip-ups on the night, but I doubt anybody noticed.
Sure they did.
Nobody mentioned it. But we all have our 2 pennants and some nights. I will give you an example. Some of the numbers we could have done and didn't do. We do a good version of Walk of Life by Dire Straits.
That's true, yeah.
But again, I didn't feel that was right for a 60s dance.
No.
You know, it's out of character. If we were doing a party,
That's true.
We do some other shadow stuff. Mozart 40, which is almost like a classical piece, which we've done. But again, I thought it was a bit too obscure, really, for people who wouldn't have related to it. So we'll kick it around. I mean, the Buddy Holly numbers will probably get changed. One of the Creedence Clearwater Network. Definitely going to do more Rolling Stones.
I thought the last time was absolutely brilliant.
Well.
That one went.
So we'll either be seeing Satisfaction and Brown Sugar or something like that next year as well. So we've got to try and group them in sets of numbers. So we'll definitely have a Rolling Stones set. Perhaps some Kinks next year, do you think?
That'd be superb. I'm sure stuff like the Kinks would go down really, really well. I'm sure it would.
The British thing seems to, people seem to like.
They do, don't they?
Yeah.
Was there any songs that you've tried since you decided to have a change that you weren't happy about doing and you won't do again, or not?
I mean, the ones we mentioned. I mean, Blueberry Hill was a nice number, but slow. I mean, if we could do slow, we might do Dream or something like that. Or the Everly Brothers next year.
That's true.
It will all change. The ones I mentioned, Walk Life and etc. We could have done those, but decided not to on the night. I mean, it's surprising that hour and 10 minutes seems like a long time. 25, 26 songs seem like a lot of songs. But it's surprising how much you got cut out when there's a lot you could want to, you could do. We didn't do any Eddie Cochran apart from 20 Flight Rock. And we did some Eddie Cochran last year. But it's democratic. We'll all put our ideas in.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I'll say what they got to do.
That's true, yeah. If you put a full set together and of all the songs that you've done, I mean, I know, was it 2 years ago or 3 years ago when you came back for the first time?
Yeah.
You basically did a 50-minute set.
8 years ago. 8 years ago we came back.
Was it?
Yeah, 2004. That was when the book launched, and we only did half an hour there.
Yeah.
Then the following year we did an hour, and then we can do up to about an hour and a half.
I was just going to say,
Yeah, we could do two 45-minute spots.
Quite easily,
That we could include numbers we've left out.
Yeah.
The good thing about rock and roll, it doesn't take too long to get it
true.
off.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's now 50 years since the band got together.
Yeah.
If you look back over all those years, it's a hard question, admittedly, but what memories have you got of those 50 years? I know the band broke up at one stage, but those 50 years, what were your memories, great memories?
Some of my memories are to do with the band, some to do with Glastonbury. I mean, one of my big memories was putting on our first big international act, which was Gene Vincent.
Yeah.
And the Salvos being the support band.
Yeah.
I mean, that was an amazing gig, you know. When you're paying a bloke his money that you've seen in films, you know,
right.
and he was famous all over the world. He also had a fantastic run-in with Ernie, the caretaker at the hotel, but that's another story I'll tell you another time. But that was one. Another thing was, of course, the Walls Beat contest. Walls Ice Cream ran a national beat contest.
That's right.
And we were in the finals. We won the Bristol. Yeah, we won the Bristol Heats. Three wonderful coach loads of fans came with us to Bristol and all the way to Birmingham.
Yeah.
And of course, the story on the night at Birmingham was we went on, did the instrumental walk run, introduced Ron. He came on stage. The PA went off.
That's right.
And stayed off for the whole time he was on stage. There was nearly a riot, you know, from our people because they couldn't hear him. And surprise, 3 Midland bands for second and third. But as you say, the Fortunes won it. There's no arguing with that.
No, that's right.
No arguing with that.
No.
But that was a big memento, you know. And things like that. And also, again, from my point of view, the bands I stood in the wings and watched.
That's right.
Fleetwood Mac, Chicken Shack, P.P. Arnold.
That's right.
Yeah. Alexis Corner, John Mayo. I mean, we had
John Baldry.
Long John Baldry, of course, with Reg Dwight.
That's right.
Playing piano, John playing piano for him in the band. I mean, Mel was here twice or 3 times, and the role of people, Clapton, Ronnie Wood, all those people passed through here.
That's right. Yeah.
And the tickets were like $10, you know, 50 pence.
Even Dave Dozy.
Dave D. We had Dave D when he was Dave D in the Boston.
That's right.
And they used to come as a support band.
They did, didn't they?
Because they were Southampton.
In fact, did you realise it was the following week they went to Webington on the following Saturday after we played here?
Yeah.
They changed the name to Dave D. Dozy Beaky McIntyre.
There you go. And then, of course, they had it. And then, of course, later we had them back as a chart-topping band. They actually played with Billy J. Kramer as a support act here. You know?
Exactly.
Love Affair. I mean, there was just so many of them.
Yeah.
You know? So those were the really big memories.
Going back to those early days, bro, you obviously supported a lot of the big bands that you brought here yourself to the Glastonbury Town Hall. If you look back, who would you say was probably the biggest and best band that you actually supported in those early days?
Well, we didn't actually support them, but I know that the group is here watching. But John Mayall's Blues Breakers were iconic. I mean, they were here a couple of 3 times, and they screwed you to the floor, you know?
Yeah.
They were so good. Fairly local bands. I mean, Dave D. Dozy McIntyre, they were terrific performers, even before they were known by that name.
That's right.
They did a good show. Again, very iconic. P.P. Arnold, who was here, of course, with Nice.
That's right.
And that was Keith Emerson. They were only a 3-piece, but they made a hell of a sound, you know. But so many people. Alexis Corner, again, was fantastic. And we had one blues night in particular that I think everybody will remember. And that was Fleetwood Mac, Chicken Shack, and Champion Jack Dupree, piano-playing blues singer from the States.
That's true.
It was a phenomenal night. Christine Perfect was still playing with Chicken Shack. She hadn't married John McVie yet. But that was a really brilliant blues night, you know, and I think everybody, that's probably the one I remember most of all, because they all went on and got so huge afterwards,
And of course, throw in Head Choppers Anonymous.
Of course.
The Applejacks.
Love Affair, we couldn't sing really, but very
true.
good. And then getting Dave D, Dozy Beaky McIntyre, can't say that. Dave D, Dozy Beaky McIntyre, having them back later when we used them as Dave D in the Bostons.
That's right.
And them actually being supported by Billy J. Kramer
right, yeah.
I remember Billy J. Kramer saying to Dave, funny old game, Dave, isn't it? Think of the times it's been the other way around.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
But it's been a blast the whole time through, and so wonderful that we've managed to get another 8 years out of playing the Souls back together again, and hoping to keep going. They're all enjoying it.
Yeah.
You know, there are people missing on holidays and things.
That's right, yeah.
But everybody's going to be here for next August.
Which is good, won't it? Yeah,
plenty of time to reherse before, so we're really looking forward to it. Thanks for giving us the opportunity to
we love it anyway.
play here again.
The people of Glastonbury Street love it as well. So
that's all that matters.
Yeah, but I think
when they stop coming, we'll stop playing.
Oh, sure. They won't stop. Well, he's got to pay for his guitar. Yes, so that's another 10 years. Going back. When you actually got back together, it might be worth just sort of reliving how you actually got back. I think it was something to do with your birthday, was it?
No, it was before that.
Was it?
It was all down to Barry Sagan.
Right.
Poor Barry, the great local guitarist in Devon, decided one of his mates had died and not left much behind, and he decided he ought to do something. And he'd been keeping notes about bands he'd known in the area over the years. And he showed it to somebody who worked for a publisher, and they said, there's a book there. So first off, he wrote a book about Devon and rock and roll bands in the 60s in Devon. And then he came to me in a shop at Taunton and said, I'd never seen him before. He said, I'm thinking of doing a book on rock and roll in Somerset. Showed me the one that he'd done for Devon. He said, would you be interested? And so I said, yeah. So he buzzed around the different members of the band, found photos and stories and things like that. Then he came back to me again, started asking me, he said, I'll keep getting directly back to you because you ran the dances and managed the bands. And so I came up with all the stories I could think of and put him in touch with other bands we'd worked with. And then he said, well, there's two things. He said, I'd like to dedicate the book to you. So that was very nice. We got my picture in the front. We got my life story and the band, Salva's life story in there as well. And then he said, well, look, when we launched the book at Taunton, we're getting some of the old bands back together. Do you think you could get the Salvas back together? So I said, well, I wouldn't mind, but Nick hadn't touched the bass for 35 years then. So he was the one I knew that hadn't done any playing. Ron, I knew, of course, because at one stage he was working for me. Mike, I knew, had played in dance bands and things. And John had played with other bands. But that was the starting point. So we got back together. We had 4 rehearsals. Then we did a half-hour spot at Taunton, and we all enjoyed it so much. There's the full show is actually on YouTube now. If somebody Googles Salvo's 2004, they should find the whole show on there. And we enjoyed it so much that we said we'd like to do it again. The next opportunity was my 65th birthday in 2006. And we did an hour there, and that was very enjoyable, all friends and family and friends of the band and musical people from all over. So that was good fun. And then young Mervyn Colenutt came along and said, the one thing Ron said he'd do again was play at Glastonbury. And as you know, the first one was messed up because Mike was ill. Yeah, that's right. We drafted another chap who did his best to fill in. And then we did a show here January 2011 with Fair Play, supporting the local swimming club, which went very well. And of course now, here we are back where we should be, and looking forward to next year as well. That's right. So again, thanks very much for all you've done for us. No problem at all, Brian. Look forward again to next year, and thanks very much once again. It's been fun, and it's great times ahead. Absolutely right. Thanks very much, Steve, Brian. Cheers.
It was